Chickened up. We're here with the one and only Keck Filet, as well as my friend VV Theory, who is also a YouTuber. Keck Filet, go ahead and introduce yourself, my friend.
All right, hello everybody. Welcome to which episode is this?
Number two.
The second episode.
We had Small Hat Crew on last episode.
The Hardy Podcast, dubbed by your boy.
Yours truly.
I am Keck Filet. My first name is Sage, if that helps you out with anything. And I just play One Piece and make some easy content. And I know to play Doflamingo. And
he does.
Yeah, it's nice to meet you guys. And who do we have? We have James. Do you go by
That's
like
me.
a certain?
Yeah,
like,
James is good. Yeah, like so the whole story behind the VV theory is, the two V's when you combine them is a W, and my gamer alias is Wolfric, so it's like the Wolfric theory.
That's like some Da Vinci Code type
dude.
stuff.
Well, I got to give a quick backstory of that. Like, one of my really good friends, we were playing. I think we were getting into Lost Ark or something when that came out on computer. And I was like, oh man, my gamer tag's taken, because Wolfric's so unique, right? No one uses that now. But seriously, I was like, oh man, my tag's already taken. Yeah. And he goes, dude, just use two V's. I'm like, how did that just pop in your head, right? Like how? And anyway,
yeah,
that's when people used to get banned on Xbox Live back in the day, when like find like new ways to put like the same name. Essentially, it's like when they wear like the fake mustache, they come back for free samples.
And now, and it stuck, man. After that, they're like, all right. And people, for a while, people were calling me VV Ulfric. I was like, we'll just go with VV or Wolfric, whichever.
Yeah. Keck, how'd you get your name, buddy?
Keck Filet. So,
yeah.
Have you ever played WoW before?
Oh yeah.
Yep.
Oh,
okay,
yeah.
so in WoW, I was on a private server playing Classic, right? And essentially, it's just I was Chick-fil-A. That was my main character. So I needed to make an alt, and I thought Keck-fil-A. Oh, that's perfect. Let's just let that go. And I'm like, this is the better gamer tag than Chick-fil-A, because that's
absolutely
taken by, a multi-million-dollar corporation that just makes the best chicken ever.
Chick-fil-A is amazing. So yeah,
I disagree. I used to work there, and I fucking hate it.
I used to work there too. Listen, man,
yeah,
it depends on management. I'll tell you, I hated my boss too. All right, no problem. But yeah, that sauce is delicious.
I was sexually harassed at Chick-fil-A.
Wow.
I know. Well, isn't that crazy?
I wish I had that problem. Must be nice.
It was at the time, but then I got fired for it. So like, I wish the Me Too movement was out back then, dude. I would have been a millionaire. But so let's talk about our first topic here. And what we wanted to talk about was, did we decide on the Bandai app? Were we going to talk about that first?
Yeah, sure.
Yeah,
okay.
Yeah,
cool. And let me put some some context into this. So, like, we're not talking about how we have TCG or a Bandai Plus or whatever, Bandai TCG Plus. We're not talking about that app. We're talking about an app where it would basically be like a simulator, kind of like with the one we have now, but an official simulator. However, it has a lot more support. Like, it has, for example, like, you can sign up for tournaments on there. That's where the online regionals would be, the online treasure cups would be, something similar to that. And that way we wouldn't have rampant cheating. We wouldn't have all of these issues, right, that we're having right now with these what is it called? With these online events. What do you guys think about that?
You guys want me to go first?
Go ahead.
So it's, for me, it's a double-edged sword, because after the whole COVID thing, right? Like, I was super against the online platform, but I also understood why it had to exist. And like I said, it's like a double-edged sword type thing. I'm all about, going to the card shop, playing against other players, against real players, sitting across from them, that way you can see if they're going to cheat or not, kind of thing. And, to be fair, people still cheat even in offline tournaments. It's much more rare, but it's much easier to catch, but it still happens even in that. But as far as the app itself goes, like, I think the idea is great, and I hope they pursue it, because, I mean, for those who don't know, I'm sure everyone who's listening to this podcast knows there's already something called the OPTCG sim. Like, it was made by a single person, right, in their basement, kind of idea, right? Like, at home, in their kitchen, wherever, right? Just super easy. One person whipped it together real quick. So how could I don't know how much Bandai's worth. I'll just say like $100 million, but someone correct me if I'm wrong.
Billions, probably.
Probably billion. I don't know. Yeah. So just over $100 million corporation. How can they not whip together an app real quick that has the specific purpose at first, right? At first, have the specific purpose to host these online tournaments. Because some benefits to that would be, you can now you don't have to limit the tournaments to 1,000 people, right? Because isn't that the limit? Like 1,024 is like the
Yep.
limit or
It doesn't
whatever.
have to be on
Has to do
Discord
with time.
anymore.
With
Oh,
timing?
well, time too. Yeah.
Yeah.
Does it? Because see, that's the nice thing about the online stuff is now you can just schedule all your games. I mean, everything would be set. You could like have a
Mhm.
confirmation time with your opponent. It would all be, at least within a certain time constraint if that were an issue. But
Yeah, I would say I want to take the floor for here for a minute actually. So I would say the number one priority I think of I think anybody who'd want something like this, right? But I want to preface all of this. I am actually pro webcam games, and the main reason is I am very pro of the actual physical cards. I want the physical cards. That is actually the most fun to me.
Me too.
If I when I'm playing on a game online, I could play a shooter game or that. I don't really want to play a just strategy card game, but doing it with the real cards just adds some sort of aspect of fun for me. Outside of cheating, let's just ignore cheating entirely.
Okay.
I think entirely the game is just more funner with cards, whether that be in person or on webcam. And that's the number one priority, I would think. And that would kind of maybe reduce how many people would even enter a simulator tournament. So I think you'd have a less desire for people to even want to play the game if it was just simulator only. I
So
think that's
yeah, so I totally agree. I prefer playing with real cards. That's the reason I stopped playing one of the reasons I stopped playing Hearthstone is because I like having like the social interaction, like the
Yep.
like the communication with my friends, like meeting new people, like traveling to all these different cities to go to these tournaments. It's a lot of fun. But what I think is cool is like that you can make it so like the online game just complements what we already have, like you can have like I was saying right before we started the podcast, like we started recording, but Pokemon does it where if you buy a real life pack, then you get a code to redeem in the actual like simulator for Pokemon, right? And then you can get packs there. And then that's where like if you want to have online tournaments, you can have those as like a supplementary thing for it, like, or if people are like, like a lot of people that, play in certain cities, like they don't have like a big local scene there. So the simulator is pretty much like their, or like, online regionals is their only form of like competitive play. So like if we were
Right.
able to like reach more people, I think it would grow the game. And whether it be a gotcha, maybe a gotcha game or not, like whether you buy packs on it or not, or it just comes with every card, I think just having more people being exposed to the game in an easier way, I feel like is better for the game, even though it is not as fun as like playing with cards, trying to stack your deck and cheat at
I
locals.
I agree with all of those, and I want to play devil's advocate for one thing.
Yeah.
And the main thing is, I'm sure most people would agree with this when they've seen a game like this. I think even Dragon Ball had this recently. When a game, and Vanguard had this big time, when a game hits a gotcha level status where it's a different game, and sometimes it'll be like the same game it was before, but it was simplified down to be on a mobile game, you consider the game just to be a cash grab,
Oh,
and
absolutely,
the game's
yeah.
dead.
Yeah.
And so that's what people might be afraid of. Oh, they're making an actual One Piece online game. They're just trying to do a cash grab. I mean,
Right.
it's all money, right?
Yeah.
But would that ruin the real game? Some people might find that, right? Some people actually might see that. Well, why would I play with real cards and go to the shop when I could just hang out at home and just watch Netflix and play games? So there's a big middle ground there, and forcing people to play cards is almost beneficial for the casual audience who just actually enjoys the game, right? It kind of mixes that. So it's a hard line. However, I like one of the ideas you had, having some sort of app or second website with all the important information. They already have a lot of information on the website, right? Competitively on their One Piece website, but having more information on tournaments and more like little guides and stuff on there. I don't know. I haven't explored it enough. I bet you Orange Samurai could be watching this, but it's all on the website. It's all
Dude,
there.
Orange Samurai is actually an oracle, bro. He is the oracle of One Piece. He knows everything. I like it.
Yeah.
So, I don't know if you're going to say something real quick, James, but let me just say this, that I think that the product will be like, whether it's a cash grab or not, how well the product performs, like how well it's received, I think is going to be the deciding factor on that. Like if it's like a piece of crap and it just sucks and uh it's like obviously a fucking cash grab, like that, okay, that would really hurt the game. But if it's really well received and people like really like it and it's like organized and it's like, you know, all this stuff which Bandai isn't really great at, but if it is, then I think people are going to like that a lot.
Yeah.
I think the absolute like biggest tell on like how Bandai is look at their app, like look at their current phone app, right? That is that is not a good sign of how it might go, right? But I will say, I would only want this to be tournament specific for online tournament style play because, like Keck was saying, I don't. One problem with the online format is it can potentially hurt the local format. So it's like I don't ever want that. Of course, you know I love playing card games in person. I have a similar case of like how Joey is, where I played Hearthstone for a while when Magic got a little stale to me years and years ago when Hearthstone first came out. I enjoyed it; it was fun, but then I lost the interest, right? Because like, okay, I'm not really engaging. Where's the physical aspect of it that used to be? You know, one of the most enjoyable parts of playing cards, like y'all are saying. It's like that was gone. So it's like, no, I got to get back into it. And that's where One Piece got me back in. But it's like, the only problem is the online part of it, because offline, I think the game is fine. You know, like as far as like interacting and playing and all that good, that's all fine. But like for the app, I wouldn't, it would be nice for it to evolve, right? You know, just thinking long term, thinking like a utopian idea. It would be nice if it evolved into, okay, there's also a personalized ranking system where now you're trying to climb a ladder and who's at the top, and now you have like, you know, you have the best players, they're established, they have the most points, kind of thing. But you know that comes with a whole nother set of problems, right?
So,
But
well,
yeah.
yeah. So Yu-Gi-Oh actually does this. It does a really good job of this in two different ways. One's illegal and like not official, and one is actually legal. And it's called Dueling Book and Master Duel. So like Dueling Book is like an unofficial version of Yu-Gi-Oh that is online. You have access to every card, and you have like a rating system. And there's like entire YouTube channels dedicated to like grinding the rating system and like watching like the high level duels and things like that. And then Master Duel has like, you know, they have like the like League of Legends stuff. They have like Gold 1, Platinum, Diamond, this and that.
Yeah.
But like I think that like creating an ecosystem to like foster like content around your game, I think was only beneficial. For example, like what if I had like another like a series that I can do on top of like what I already do, just like spectating these games and like seeing what the best players are playing this time, like seeing like what techs they're deciding to do just by just spectating their game, you know? Like I think that that would be really cool.
I think there are a lot of pros to everything you've said, but all I could think of is like you can only think of like the negative aspect of certain other things.
Yeah.
And I think even I'm sure if you played like a competitive game, like I used to play a lot of League of Legends.
Me too.
When you enter the ranking aspect of it, it becomes work. And it ends up being not fun. And all of a sudden you're trying to grind and you're like, oh my God, this guy's playing queen. He's taking way too long with these turns. And I have to like grind up for the end of the night. I better just forfeit this game. And so it might
The
ruin
second
a lot
you
of the
see
fun
someone lock in a
general.
champion like that, like a champion that is just like troll, you're like, oh my God, my whole night's ruined. So I totally get that. Yeah.
Heimerdinger main.
Yeah. Lock in like Heimendinger support. Like, bro, like please just dodge.
This is a 1-versus-1 game, so you have complete control of all that.
Sure.
But the game, it will still be work in a way.
Yeah.
So I feel like a lot of the great aspects of One Piece that it is seen as somewhat in the middle of a casual game, right?
Right.
And I think it's important I like it to keep it a casual game so I don't have to go too crazy, right? I still want to make content and be good at the game. There's incentive, but there's almost incentive to keeping people kind of not that good. So when you go to regionals and stuff, you're like, oh, this guy I played against is free. What if that guy got coaching and just fucked up your world, right?
Yep.
So it's we need winners and losers. Okay. I just want to say
I do like that. I do like that balance of it too. But I wanted to give you this time to actually talk about, so like you obviously are a Doflamingo main, and you're from the videos I watch, I don't play a lot of Doflamingo, but I understand the game. Like,
Okay.
I want to, like, I think you're a really good Doflamingo player. I think you understand the matchups very well. How do you deal with your, like, I think your two hardest or not, maybe not hardest matchups, but two of the matchups that I think can be tricky are Zoro and, like, Yellow, perhaps, like Katakuri or something like that. How would you go about, like, how do you go about playing into those matchups?
So actually, I want to reverse engineer this to self-coaching, but the biggest thing is I want to talk about the inverse, right? And actually, I'll talk about yellow because I actually struggled against yellow at first because I also played a bit of yellow because yellow's my favorite real life color, right?
Nice, yeah.
And essentially, I wanted to make yellow work, and I'm like, well, how do I beat blue if I face blue? Because I faced one, I'm like, I'm not sure how to beat this. And so, what is yellow main priority? Their main priority is to get to 10 dawn and start playing 10 drops.
Yep.
So they want to survive as long as possible. So they will kill all your characters and they don't care about your life. They can keep you at 7 life. They can up your life. They don't care. And essentially I inverse that and thought, okay, well, if I'm playing blue, I'll just play characters for a couple turns, take all the damage I can. I don't have a character, right? So this is what I do. I play characters. I do not attack. I do attack as leader, but I don't guard any attacks because I don't really care if I go down to like 1 life because that means he gets less value out of like 10 costs, right?
Right.
So that means he might have to go to wide mom strategy, which wide mom might not be as good because he's gonna have a ton of bricks in hand, right?
Yeah.
Because that deck already has 1 billion bricks. And so the important thing here is you want to make more than 1 threat at a time. So on something like your 6 or 7 dawn turn, that's when you can like play a 3-cost Doflamingo, look at top of your deck, organize it, call a card off the top of the deck, and swing with the cards you already placed. And by making more than 1 threat at once and having a large hand, they can't clear your board. You're able to go wide, and they will just run out of cards. And there's no reason for them to place a 10 drop because you're already at low life. So they have to go for risky strategies like Thunder, what's the yellow bolt?
Thunderbolt. Yep.
Yeah.
They'll thunderbolt your blockers and like swing with their leader for like 14 to kill you.
Yeah.
So you have to have like 2 blockers up, and you'll just start doing really weird stuff like that, and they don't know what to do. When you're playing yellow against this strategy, you have no idea what to do. But if Doflamingos doing their normal thing, just calling a card off the top of the deck every time, you just attack it because you're only dealing with it 1 per turn.
Yeah.
Right. If you're only dealing with 1 threat, it's dealable. But if you make it too hard, then all of a sudden there's 3-4 and you're like, well, I might as well not go for board. I need to go for the game if I can.
Got to change the entire strategy.
Yeah.
That's exactly what you want to do. And I'll even inverse that with that same strategy against Zoro. Now, Zoro, if you're going first, I think if you're doing, playing Doflamingo and you go first, just do your normal strategy.
Yeah.
But if you're going second, which obviously you can lose a die roll, right? I have this strategy of on your 4 dawn turn, play a 4 cost. I like the 4/6 Gecko Moria. They can't get fire fisted. And then on the 6 dawn turn, I'll play a 3 cost Doflamingo if I see one and use a skill. It's the exact same strategy I use against yellow. I do maybe guard out a couple attacks differently, but the main thing is you are making 2 threats at once. They can't deal with it. You can build board. You can stall until your 10 dawn turn because red's a little slower now in general.
I actually think so too. A lot of people are saying red is really fast, right? And certain versions of it are really fast. But the list that is very common right now is like the event heavy one with the Marcos, and I think it's actually much slower. Like set 2 Zoro is way faster because
you couldn't play a Mihawk.
Yeah, you couldn't do it at all. But like now, like if you can
Mm-hmm.
guard out of a couple attacks and like get like at least some board pressure without getting like jet pistoled and fire fisted, I think Zoro is actually much more you're able to deal with it much better with slower decks than you were in set 2. Like set 2, like I honestly would just cut me off from the deck. Like it was not getting there.
It was a dead card. I felt like that at the beginning of OPO3, but I realized Zoro was so slow that I can play Mihawk, sometimes 2, and get away with it.
Yeah.
And it was really nice. The only problem is right now, it's kind of funny. So Whitebeard, from this change they did, it actually made the matchup a lot harder. Because it's all about Ace. Like Ace destroys your board and you can't do anything. And so I'm just so frustrated right now against Ace. Especially if I go first, I'm actually fine. I'm chilling. I win the die roll. I'm having a good time. If I go second, if I'm against a good Whitebeard player that chose to go first, which is sometimes rare, I will. I'm a defeatist. Like last week, I went 4-5 at online. I think I played bad, but on top of that, I lost die rolls against Whitebeard, and I did not curve out as good as they did.
So I watched your stream when you were playing the webcam regional, and I saw that guy, one of the Whitebeard players went double ace, and I was like, bro, like as a blue player, that is like the most infuriating thing in the world. There's no like your whole board was wiped. Like you did a good job of like playing around one of them because I think you swung with one and then had a blocker, so like you were gonna able to like play around that, but then they dropped the second ace like back to back, and I was like, oh bro, he's not gonna win this.
What they'll do is they'll play like Luffy into ace into Luffy, and you're just like, well, if
what
you
do
get
I
an
do?
attack every turn, what do I do? Like,
Ironically, so like I think it's actually been reversed. I think Zoro is actually slower than it was in set 2, and Whitebeard is faster than it was in set 2. And the roles have been kind of reversed because like the second they go Speed Jill, they go into Rush Luffy, they go into Ace, and then they drop like whatever, like Newgate or something like that. And like Zoro is like, yeah, we'll swing at you for 5, we'll swing at you for 5, then we'll play Marco and try to like control your board. But like Whitebeard is just like, bro, I'm gonna keep swinging just tall, and you better hope you have it, bro.
And if you play too slow against Whitebeard, they'll just like on their 10 Dawn turn, they'll just play 2 Speed Jills and say, okay, but past turn, they're like, I die next turn. So
no Moby Dick, no problem.
Whitebeard is so fast. It has to be, right?
Yeah.
But it is so incredibly fast, and it's kind of funny. People are like kind of comparing the 6K body to the new Luffy that's coming out, right? Being a 3 health.
I'm happy you said that because that's going to be one of our topics.
Yeah, Whitebeard is kind of like a 3 life leader.
I said the same thing.
Yeah.
I said
he just gets to draw the 3 extra cards. That's it. He's basically a 3 life leader that gets to draw 3 extra.
He runs out of gas. That's the problem. He runs out of gas. Luffy doesn't run out of gas. He just
I think the opposite. I think Luffy runs out of gas and Whitebeard. That's the difference, right? So Whitebeard is basically like, honestly, I said this before, I think he's like a 1 or 2 life leader pretty much.
Bigger.
Yeah, so Whitebeard, the reason that Whitebeard doesn't run out of gas is because he keeps drawing his own cards. He keeps drawing his own life, right? So he has 3 more cards at his disposal than Luffy does innately, right? Mm-hmm. But Whitebeard, you only have to do like 1 or 2 life pretty much because he's gonna take his own, and then you have to do the final hit pretty much, and then like maybe if they have like Newgate, then you deal that one and then the final hit, right? But Luffy is like, he never has to take his own life, so you have to do 4 life to him essentially because you have 3 life, and then you have to do his last hit. So like, what do you think about like the balance between these 6K leaders? Because even though they are relatively low life counts, I think they're actually like just straight up just better still, even with low life.
I don't think it's balanced.
Yeah.
I think
I saw you chuckle a little bit when I said balance. Yeah.
I think they're playing a whole different game, and just, it's kind of fun playing a game within a game. It's like playing Law, Yeah. You're playing a whole different game than what everyone else is used to. And so I think it's different, Yamato's really interesting because I don't know if you just take damage early and then you're a 6K body, but
it's hard to say. It's hard to say.
It's hard. Yeah, it's hard to say. Maybe just the color is good with 6K body. I don't know.
It's like depending on the matchup. Like sometimes you want to get down to 2 life, and then sometimes you're like, well, I could wait a couple turns, to do it, because like if you go down there too fast, like 6K is still good, don't get me wrong, but like they'll still swing 6K. Like it's the problem is like it's like the reason that Whitebeard's so good is because like you can't really swing into him efficiently early, but like Yamato you can just keep swinging at efficiently until she gets to 2 life with a Dawn on her. So it's like it's not as good, But I think Yamato is really good into Whitebeard. Go on, James.
Yeah, like the one thing about the 6K leaders is we've only seen it from red and purple so far. Yamato being the exception. It's like it's an exception in a weird way.
Piece,
and it's like, but look what they're gonna get. Like red and purple has 2 cards in particular that only cost 1 that can pump for 4,000, right? Like you got Blast Breath for purple and you got Rad Beam for red. And it's like, I think that actually matters a lot. Like, yeah, okay, they're already 6,000 as if that was not enough, right? But 9,000 is a very efficient swing, typically speaking. Well, against them, it's actually not. They're going to pay 1 and trash 1 card from hand, and there goes your whole attack, which you probably had to invest anywhere from like 2 to 4 Dawn into. And then for the whole game, when they're 2K countering, it's an 8K. It's just wild. They're always getting around that standard curve, and that goes a long way. Like in most games, you're always trying to get a small incremental advantage over your opponent every single move. And then by the end of the game, it adds up and you win.
Yeah.
Well,
I mean,
guess what? They start off with an advantage.
I think, yeah, that does make a lot of sense. My counter to that is most of the time you probably do this against Whitebeard if you're playing a wider strategy. You just swing right at 6K.
Right at 6. Yeah,
It's
that's
kinda
something you could do. Yeah.
Law does against every deck. They just swing 5.
Yeah.
So,
Yep.
and so it's not like especially against red purple. It's probably not going to be too crazy just to swing 6 at him. He's probably going to run out of gas a lot faster.
And that's why I think Law and Zoro are both going to be really good into Luffy because like he does have like the thing is like Luffy does have access to the ramp like Thunderbagua and things like that. But like without the three cards that that Whitebeard automatically has over him, he's going to run out of cards way faster than Newgate.
Yeah, can we just fully transition into red purple talk? That just this card and just this set in general.
Let's do it.
I did have a question.
Yeah.
When does that actually release? When is the release date for that deck?
I think it's like 2 weeks after. James, could you look that up real quick?
Let me check.
I think it's 2 weeks after set 4 releases. So basically, right?
I think it's a month and a half after.
There's
Joey,
no
I could be wrong.
fucking way.
I don't know for sure, but basically, it's like they did this with one of the other things
Look it
too.
up, Jamie.
Yeah. I'm on it. I just gotta find it.
James the Oracle. But so like so I don't think that I think that the red purple Luffy is going to be tier 1. I think he is going to be probably the best deck just because like depending on the format right now. I don't know. Did you guys see my tier list while we're waiting for this? Did you guys see my tier list? It just came out today, so
I did. Yeah, I saw that.
Look at it real quick.
So
I'll pull it up so I have it.
Yeah. So I listed that the blurple decks. Now some people say I'm on copium, some people agree with me, but the blurple decks are going to be really good because of their access to Red Rock and like the new Kaido and just like generic like really good cards in both color pools. But like depending on the matchups that Luffy plays, if there's a lot of like blue and purple running around, I think Luffy gets better because like they're not as aggressive. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
But like if there's still Luffy and like Law and Zoro and Whitebeard like running around, then I don't think that Luffy's going to be as good. And that's why I think like next set is going to be very interesting because it's like what's the balance between the Doflamingos, the Luffys, the Crocs, like the Whitebeards, like it's going to be really hard to prepare for regionals. So that's really going to determine the meta. It's like what what is the most consistently like good deck that people are going to be playing, and what is good against it.
Okay.
Can y'all see where I shared screen?
2023. Yeah. So that's going to be here just in time for Texas and the other one and Pasadena. So it's coming out like 2 months after. So
okay, that's way further down the line.
Fine.
Yeah,
we're good. I'm like, dude, no way. I can't be living in that lot.
Yeah,
I can't be living that soon. So
I was under the impression it was going to be. Oh, well, I didn't mean to do that. I was under the impression it was going to be way sooner than that. I thought like maybe like a month after, but I didn't think it was going to be basically like 2 months after.
I think you might be on a little bit of a little bit of sugar when we're talking about blue, purple. Like Croc.
Tell me
Kaido.
why. Tell me why.
I just don't think they're good leader skills. They're just terrible leader skills.
What?
I played.
What?
I was married to blue purple crocodile.
Okay? I think we all are because that's also my deck. That's the first video I ever. The first video I ever created was Blurple Croc deck profile. But why'd you drop it?
The reason why I dropped that deck, Law. That's it. Law. They just went,
it's different.
I'm like, fuck this game. I'm just playing Doflamingo.
But it's different now. It's times have changed, old man. Times have changed.
That's funny.
I just think keeping a low hand, using a skill on your turn is almost never gonna happen. That's what I always.
I use it all the time.
Hard.
What?
It is so hard to get the skill off while on your turn. It's strictly always on your opponent's turn. That's how and the thing is, the deck has almost no offense. It's literally its best offense is playing like a Babanuki, like a 5/7. Now, like it's so.
Hey, you put some respect on Babanuki, bro. I like Babanuki.
Yeah, I'm serious. Yeah, you can play like a 5/7 Babanuki in order to actually like win the game. Now, I got to tell you, the deck was good when I was playing illegal cards in it. I was playing 10-drop Kaido. So some guy did this.
I did the same shit, right? I did the same shit.
You did it?
Yeah.
So some guy
I did it on my brother, actually, and I won in the tournament because I was like, 10-drop Kaido, wipe your whole board.
I won like half a box before, and I was like, oh, shit. I didn't pull anything good, just tell you the truth. But like if I did, I probably would like give it away or something. But oh my god, I didn't know because some guy did that to me.
Leader restriction.
Why the fuck do I not just play
Yeah.
Kaido in my deck? So I did that, and I remember I faced that same guy. We both did it to each other. So we were doing like the most illegal shit
Wow.
so early in the game. So
Yeah, so I agree with you. I don't think Blurple Croc at any point has been good. Like, well, I used to think he was good when I was on Copium and I didn't know a lot about the game, but I think it's different now because, like, it depends on how you play the game, right? I've been playing a ton of Blurple Croc Set 4 on the simulator, and I know it's a simulator. Not everyone is great or familiar with the cards, but so that goes without saying. Sometimes they're NPCs. Sometimes I legit think they're bots.
No, they're subhuman, yeah, usually.
So the reason I say Blurple Croc gets better is because it finally has not only cards that are standalone, just like powerful cards in their own right. We finally have them to be searchable, right? So like before we were able to do Perona, which is fine, but like now we have like the 9-drop and the 10-drop Kaido are both searchable, and then 10-drop obviously for Blurple Kaido.
You can play is it Queen that you can drop? Or is it
Queen 2, but like also you can play it's the freaking page 1 not page 1. I think it's Ulti. Ulti is the searcher, basically like Nami essentially for Animal Kingdom pirates. But when you and depending on your play style, right? Like you can with Croc now, you can stall with like Soga King and like Dragon Twister and like things like that till you get to like 8 to 10 Dawn. Then you play your boss monster, you play Kaido, and then you can start using Croc's effects to stabilize. Every turn you discard a 2K, you use an event, draw a card. You discard a 2K, use an event, draw a card, and then you're beating them down with Crocodile. Or what's up?
You lost me at Soga King. I'm sorry.
Okay, so
I'm just an asshole. Sorry.
So in mono blue Croc in next set, and sometimes depending on the deck, Blurple Croc, Soga King is actually really good because sometimes you just have dead cards in hand and you can cycle them, and then it's good. It's really good into the film engine too. So like they play like Guild Tsuru or like anything like Nami or something like that. You bounce their tempo back.
You do this game, yeah. I do want to say that the number one thing about this game in general that will always remain supreme is board control. And I mean like just removal and removal in general. Because what's the best card you thought, oh, this is gonna be like the best card ever in the game, and then it was removed? What was that card? And that card was for me Guild Tesoro, right? That was for me. That was the card that I'd like, oh, this is gonna change the game. I'm gonna play purple now. It's gonna be the best deck ever because I'm just gonna build my whole deck around Guild Tesoro.
Yeah.
And then they just jet pistoled it. And I'm like, oh damn it, this fucking game sucks.
Yeah. So I actually did do that. Like in set 2 when the film deck came out, I was like, I can finally just draw cards like in purple. This is so good, right? And it works when you have Onigashima and that card on curve. It is like, bro, you can't lose. Like you're drawing 6 cards. But like, yeah, like there are answers for Guild for sure. But now that blue has the best removal in the game by a mile, and they're all efficient, and you can recycle them with Blurple Croc and Croc with Miss All Sunday, and like even the triggers like 3000 Worlds, Red Rock, Dragon Twister, Sobbles, like all the triggers are actually good too, bro. So like I'm not on Copium, bro. I swear, bro, I'm not on Copium.
I know, but I think they're going to be better decks than they were before. No deck can get worse. That's the one thing I like to say. No deck can actually get worse.
What deck are you looking forward to playing, Keck? Like in OP04? Queen? Okay.
Queen. And that's just because I just thought the skill looked good. That's all. It looks good. It looks funny. I think there's obvious ways to play around it, but there's that. I'm always going to be stuck on Blue Dofi, to be honest. So
yeah, sure.
I'll be doing that always.
I think Queen has very high skill ceiling.
Too. Yeah. So I'm going to try that. I think the big benefit for me, and I think this is a big thing for most players, and I urge, listen, if you didn't listen to anything we said before, listen to this, okay? Play faster, okay? Learn how to play the game, not slow.
Intuitively.
You know I mean? Yeah, and just intuitively know your curves. Obviously, that doesn't sound very simple, but I know so many people, they play this game already too slow playing Whitebeard.
I mean like literal speed? Okay, gotcha.
They're physically taking too long on all their turns. And if they're going to say, oh, I'm going to play Rebecca now, you're going to go to time.
You're going to run out of time.
Queen, and I'm going in. My turns are 2 seconds. I'm like, okay, I'll play this, use this skill. I don't have to think very much. But I do go a lot of turns. But if they're thinking 1 minute per every action, again implore you, imply your opponent, please, can you play a little faster for me? That's why I just want to say this.
So I tell people that on the simulator too. Like I'm on the sim and I'm just like practicing new things. And like when people take like 1 or 2 minutes per turn, I'm like, hey, do you mind playing a little faster? Like I'm just trying to get through some games, like testing some hands and whatnot, seeing how this deck like curves out and things like that. And then if they don't respond, I'll give him another 15 seconds. I'll quit. Be like, I don't care. Like I do not care. I will quit the game if you play that slow. So I totally agree with that. That's super annoying.
I actually almost quit this game in trial deck format in like some webcam casual tournament online, and the guy just took too long. I'm like, you know what? I don't think I want to play games where I'm gonna lose. And I'm straight up like, this guy's taking too long for turns where he's obviously gonna win this game. And that ruins most of fun. I think most people have been in that situation before they play against a player that takes way too long.
I think it really depends on the deck too, though. Like for example, like you were saying, Rebecca, that's going to be a high skill ceiling deck. I mean, Queen might be too. I haven't.
Queen is too. I think. Yeah.
Learn how to play your deck then. Like, before you go to a tournament. How about that? Before you go to a tournament, then learn how to play your deck.
So while we're on the topic, I'm gonna go ahead and shout out your coaching opportunities. Right, if you guys are looking for a coach, right? No. We're not sure.
Yeah, sure.
Okay,
I'll go to that. Yeah. Sorry, I'm like this, like
Yeah.
So yeah, sure. I mean, we'll segue into that. I do want to say I do work. I work with Will to Win Gaming on that. And I mean, I do some coaching, but guys, trust me, this whole Patreon, it's a whole bunch of coaches that have a lot of insight on this, and it is blown up. And I'll tell you a lot about that. So Will to Win Gaming, he has a Patreon, he has a YouTube. You probably heard of him, William Craddock. He won a couple Magic Pro Tours. I didn't know who he was before One Piece, to be honest.
He just did well recently too.
Yeah. He's always done well. He's won a couple Luffy's. He's just a good player. A little lazy, actually, pretty lazy guy. But that's where I come in, right? I'm there, to make it all work. So I actually was partying up with him a little bit. I actually faced him in a tournament and lost. And so I basically was in conversations with him saying, hey man, you can really get this off the ground. And I want to give you an example because maybe you don't know, and I don't think he really cares if I said this, and it's all public information. So when it comes to coaching and this, he was doing this kind of on the side. He doesn't work. His fiance does some work, and he basically just
stay at home dad, man.
He basically stay at home and helps her out with a lot of things. She's like on call, like doctor stuff, right? And so
cool.
So basically he does this on his main thing to sort of support like travel and stuff like that. That was his main thing. Now that's going to change, right? So before he was making about $500 a month in Patreon. I was like, that's really good. You're doing really good for yourself. Well, I'm really proud of you. I came in, I took over his Twitter. I make Twitter posts. I post this. I fixed his Discord from being 5 channels to being 100 channels because you don't see the hidden channels. Okay.
Right.
And now that's at $3,200 a month.
Wow.
So that ballooned up, and that's not just because everything, obviously Will does well, right? And people need it's word of mouth, but people more than ever really want to get better at this game. And Will's kind of message here is he wants to make everyone better at the game, and he wants to find out who the true pirate king is, right? That's that kind of thing. And it's kind of funny as a content creator, also being a competitor too. I will mention that. So when you're a competitive player, you actually want to keep everyone's knowledge down and your knowledge up, so you have an advantage over them. But Will's somewhere in the middle where he educates people on how to play and then also plays well. So
yeah. So I was actually at a crossroad for that too. I'm gonna. I was gonna say yours is like a little blurry right there. Yeah, so I'm also gonna get into coaching for a little bit to see how it goes, doing some test runs. I have a video coming out pretty soon. I was telling you guys about this, where I'm going to be breaking down a game from one of my friend's webcam regionals and just telling him, like, making a video on like where he went wrong and like what could have been and how he could have won that game. But like I was at that point where like when I was doing even when I'm in tournaments, when I'm talking to my friends, I'm like, hey man, like this is how you beat me. Like this is how you beat me, right? And like sometimes I'll play against the person like next round and they'll beat me, because I taught them how to beat me, and like in that deck in particular. So like as a competitor, it really is tough. Like especially as a YouTube, like because like I want to give out my secret sauce sometimes. Like when I'm going to these tournaments, like whether it be a regional or like even locals, like I'll show up there with some sauce and like win the I'll win locals with it. Like James has seen it all the time. With my Croc decks, with like Kid, Luffy, all this, and it's really hard to like balance it because it's like, damn, like if I could win a serial Luffy with this and like surprise everyone, that'd be great. But I also just want to make the best content possible.
Yeah, and I think it's really hard. And there's not in this game. There isn't like a thing you can play where the strategy really hasn't been figured out. Right?
Yeah.
This game is pretty wide open. I want to give you an example. Have you ever played any Vanguard at all?
I have played like 10 games of it. Yeah.
Okay.
I played like 10 games of it.
There's a content creator in Vanguard, right? And his name is Solemn Vanguard. And I don't know if you know a little bit of the game mechanics, like barely. You take a damage, it goes face up.
Yeah.
And you can use those for skills.
Yeah.
So he played a deck in premium. This is how he got to the world championship, right? Essentially, he played a deck where essentially to counter the deck, you just don't damage them and just build your board, you can just kind of kill them kind of at once.
Yeah.
But people's natural game state was to attack every turn because when you attack, you draw a card essentially.
Yeah.
Right. And people didn't think to do that way. So and he's a big content creator. So he never taught anyone how to play the deck until he won with it. And so it was this big thing of him not making any content at all for months. And he's like, man, it was really hard. I really wanted to do this and talk about this, but he really wanted to win. So you're right. It is hard being in the middle ground and educating people and also wanting to beat those same people that you educate. And trust me, you're going to lose the people you help give advice to. So it's just, it is what it is. And if you didn't give it, someone else is going to give that advice at some point.
No, I agree. I don't know if you're going to say anything on this topic, James, but yeah, like I love like helping my friends get better, especially like my friends at locals. I'm always talking to them like in between games, like, oh, he did this, he misplayed. Oh, he did this. Like, oh, if he did this, then you're reading it as, oh, he doesn't have counters, basically, like things like that. And like it's a really cool like experience, and I love that feeling of like watching people who have never won a tournament like win tournaments, like even if it's just locals. I think that's really cool. So that's why I also want to get into coaching too, but I just want to also just make like really good content as a content creator. I think it's like important to like when people are getting into the game, they have like a solid foundation of like, okay, I like this guy, he's like, he helps us, and we're all content creators here. James has some really good, like especially, I think, dude, James, you have like one of the highest viewed One Piece videos of all time, right? Like with, what is it, like 14,000 views on like what color you should play? Like,
yeah, it's at 12,000 now almost.
Yeah, it's crazy. So like
only 12,000?
Yeah, dude, that's a ton, bro. Yeah. So like I think it's just really cool like creating that good foundation content for people.
I actually would love to do something where it's actually is commentating on other people's videos. I think people would like that. And the main thing is I actually had a video that blew up. It was the Gen Con regional finals, Doflamingo versus Luffy.
I watched that.
I was watching. Yeah, everyone. It's 19,000 views. I'm like,
what?
That's
awesome,
like my big.
man.
Yeah, it's
nice, dude. That's good.
That was an awesome game.
So that's really well. The thing is, I'm watching Orange Samurai stream, and I know Orange Samurai.
Yeah.
So he's like,
cool guy. Shout out Diego.
Put it to your YouTube. Yeah, shout out Diego. Yeah. And so he's like, just give me a shout out, and absolutely. And I'm like, dude, I need you. What do you mean? I need to pay you for shout outs. So so I just did that video, and I'm like, oh, this is gonna get like a couple views because like Doflamingo's hot.
Yeah.
Right. If it was Whitebeard versus Whitebeard, I probably don't like commentate on it at all. Like,
yeah.
Just say,
that's boring as fuck. Yeah. Fuck no.
Because it was Doflamingo versus Luffy, I'm like, yeah.
Oh yeah.
This is pretty big.
Honestly, dude, I wish I would have, bro. Like that's such a good idea, bro. When I saw you commentate, I was like, fuck, man, I should have done that.
Yeah. See, that's my dream. Like how y'all were talking about coaching. Like I want to be a commentator for the game one day. Like I started like watching the Japanese stuff, and like just completely muting it and talking over what was going on and like going through each play. And those videos have been received pretty well. And that's really where my direction is. Now I will say I would coach. Like it's not something I'm against doing, but like I would much rather be a commentator. That's where I'd go.
I'm more bigger into like helping people self-improve, like
Sure.
self-coaching. I made a whole video on self-coaching, but I scrapped it because it's the whole time I was actually reading a script, and I'm like, I can't post this. This looks terrible.
Too robotic or something. Yeah.
Basically, right? I'm like, I need to redo this. But yeah, self-coaching is a bigger one, right? That's I think the big thing. All right.
Yeah.
And I think this game is a lot about commentating, but I think it's about commentating at the right time and the right decks that are just hype that make people just feel good. People don't want to see like Nami versus Whitebeard. They want to see like
I'm never
Nami
putting
versus Law.
Dude, I'm never putting Nami on any channel on any video that on my channel. I think it's so boring.
I think Nami's about to go hot in OPO4.
Oh, yeah.
Bro, I cannot fucking stand that deck, bro. It's so annoying.
It's funny. I used to play a solitaire deck in Vanguard, so it's funny.
So like, I just think it's too easy to use, like, or not use, but like the win condition's too easy to like to come across.
I wish it was a little different where it actually you did have to get an attack off in order to basically win the game. Right?
Yeah,
you have to get at least one attack off to win the game at all at some point.
Yeah,
right.
When you have no cards in your deck, and a direct attack like wins essentially, right?
You're talking about Zeph,
or some other version than what it is like now. Because
I wish Blue had more annoying things. Like I think Zeph should be unblockable. How about that? Like that
dude,
would be
what, dude? Nami would be insane, bro.
Dude, yeah. Or just imagine maybe Usopp is unblockable, but like he's really weak, so you have to like throw like 10 Dawn on him to make him work.
That's fair.
Your opponent has to like save like a bunch of Dawn to defend this Usopp that's about to swing. I'm just thinking something that's more like that, where it's not just draw discard. I'm talking about things like Impel All Stars, fucking like oh my god.
You're trying to make it easier for Nami to deck out with what you're saying.
Yeah, well, I want to make it different. I want to make it a little more interactive. When they just hit like a Impel All Stars out of life, I'm like, fuck you.
Draw two, baby. Yeah. Draw two. Let's go.
Sanji's peel off, bro. Come on.
Yes, sir.
I faced one. I was doing maybe the slightly wrong strategy against it, but then I started winning. And then like hard, and all of a sudden he hit like 2 triggers out of life to draw him 4 cards.
Yep. Oh, absolutely. So like what I was thinking about Nami was like, I just think that like playing 35 events in a deck is the most boring game design ever, bro. Because like it's the same strategy. I have to just swing 9 every turn and just pray you don't got it, bro. Like that there's no like, oh, I outplayed that Nami right there. It's just I swung 9 and he didn't have the all that.
A lot of decks have that same situation though. You gotta, but even worse, you have to win the die roll, you have to draw well, and you have to hope your opponent bricks a little bit. And it can be the same thing. It's just same thing but a little different, right?
At least it's interactive though.
And even in set 1, Zoro was like this. So people actually thought, Kaido was just a deck. Oh, if you high roll, you can't lose. Like you will win every game if you high roll Kaido.
Pretty much, yeah.
It was unbeatable, but it was super inconsistent.
Yeah.
Right. So people stopped playing choppers in Zoro. Like, well, it's a high roll deck. Like you literally just draw the cards you need to kill your opponent, and that's it. Right. That's all it's about. It's kind of like Kaido, but it's different. Right. It was a deck kind of strategy. So Blue is that same way with Nami, but it's just done a different way, which I'm not sure if that's great. But the problem is, I think in that OPO4 meta, right, there's going to be this whole meta of, oh, what can beat Nami, right? And what can beat everything else?
I hope that's not the meta, bro. Please, bro, please.
You do not want to play something that doesn't have a small strategy against Nami. Like, Rebecca is going to have a hard time, right?
Oh, yeah. I think Rebecca can't win against Nami. Like, it literally just can't win.
It'll be really hard.
I think these kind of checks are necessary for all decks. And I think this OPO4 meta is, you're probably going to have more people frustrated, actually, that, oh, I'm hard countered. That's it. I'm just hard countered. It's going to be way worse than anything you've ever seen as far as that goes.
So
go on, James, and I'll say what I want to say after.
I was just saying, I see OP04 as being like pretty healthy meta overall, but from what I've seen so far, just going off like, what's that, One Piece topdecks.com or wherever, it just shows all the tournament winnings, where it's like, I mean, we've seen purple green Doflamingo do just fine. Then there was a while where Rebecca was winning. Then Whitebeard and Zoro came back to hold them in line. Now we're seeing Nami. It seems decent to me. And now we're seeing a little bit of red purple. Like now that Luffy and Trafalgar Law are.
It sounds like Japan can't make up their mind. So
I-
I
do-
think it shows a healthy meta.
I tend to agree with both of you guys actually. So in different ways. Like so I think Nami does hard counter like so many decks. Like for example, like Crocodile, like its whole strategy is bouncing all your stuff. But like if I play against Nami, like they're just they want to do that anyway. So
Please
like
do, yeah.
yeah, so like that's like super annoying, and that is technically a hard counter because you don't really play like a lot of big characters until 10 dawn. By that time they're already halfway done their deck. Same with like you were saying, like Rebecca, right? So like I think there's already like if Nami did not exist, I think there's already tons of balance in the format. Like Rebecca beats Zoro and Law, and then Zoro and Law beat like the new starter deck Luffy, but then like also loses to like Whitebeard or whatever, you know, like things like that. I think there's a lot, and then Doflamingo beats, you know, Luffy and all them too. But like I think there's a lot of like really interesting matchups, and I just wish that like Nami wasn't like that fucking little black sheep that like you play it in a tournament and you're like, bro, this is gonna ruin my fucking tiebreakers. Because like I'm going in there playing, like I'll play against Isho, I'll play against Doflamingo, I'll play against Whitebeard, I'll play against fucking Crocodile. Please don't let me play a fucking Nami, bro.
Please, not Nami.
And I was actually at the store. We had a delayed store championship because like something happened, and I think I was either 2-0 or 3-0. I was playing Zoro. This was on Sunday, and I was like, the rest of the people that were undefeated were like Law, like Luffy, Whitebeard, something like that, and a fucking Nami, right? And I was like, dude, I will play anyone other than that damn Nami. And of course, like I paired against the Nami and I lost. So
yeah, well,
yeah.
I do want to say one big thing: we're all playing the same game, and that's not to lose.
Yeah.
And if playing Nami is that strategy, then all for it, right? It's so hard because you can't control that. You can't control what can't be in the game, right?
Yeah.
Although we think we can, right? With this whole the rad beam should be 0, but you know, it's just
we can make suggestions that we hope becomes true.
Yeah, but the thing is, like at this point, do you think they're gonna do any other like additional bans soon?
Well, do you think they're going to lift the restriction? That's my question.
Ooh, that's a good one. That's a good one.
Let's talk about that. So
yeah, let's talk about it.
Any of those OP 03.5 restrictions?
I think they're going to.
They honestly, fucking Marco can come back. Marco can come back. I don't care about Marco. It's
the one card.
What, dude? Radbeam and Newgate are like the most fucking annoying cards. Like
I
chained.
Felt that Marco was being leaned on way too hard to be the whole defensive part of the deck. I felt Red should have been an all offense, as rush, things like that. It needs to have terrible blockers, and they just put the best goddamn blocker in the goddamn game in Red. And so I'm like, why would they? Like, it's way too good. It's better than every blocker in the game. You know?
I think if they made it a once per turn action, like if they errata it down to a once per turn, I think it'd be okay, or at least help.
So the thing is, like, erratas are once per game. So erratas really do help, but like Bandai does not seem to like doing erratas. But in a perfect world, I was playing against a smoker at the store championship, and I was playing against Zoro, and I got out this Marco, and he's Sakazuki the Marco, and I was like, okay, discard freaking Whitebeard Pirates. Like the fact that Marco, at least the 5 cost, doesn't have a life restriction, like you have to be at 2 life like the regular, like the blocker Marco, and like the fact that it's not once per turn, it's just like there's no controlling when you can ever get that thing off the field. I think it's so insane. But like sticky. But like I think Marco is good, don't get me wrong, but like I think in like the new OPO4 strategies, I don't think he's going to be as good because there's just more cards that like bounce. So
bottom deck and bounce.
And bottom deck,
the 5 or the 4 cost?
4 costs.
Okay, yeah. The 5 cost is fine. I think that's having a sticky body is good. I think for Red
to an extent.
Yeah, to an extent.
They don't have anything that sticks. That's the only character in their whole thing that can stick, and it's not too overwhelming. I think the pitching events also makes so you have to play events, and some events really suck, and that's inconsistent. Right.
I don't think Red has an event that sucks personally.
Yeah, which one do you mean?
Like which one do they? Yeah.
Events have no counter, which means when they have too many counter events, they kind of aren't the best.
That's fair.
Maybe that's what I should have.
That's fair. I think I do think that like they should definitely uphold the ban list 100% because the new Luffy cannot have access to 4 new gates. Like he can't have access to 4 radical beams.
4 rad beams.
Yeah. He can't.
I'm more concerned about the rad beam than the new gate. Like the new gate's good, obviously. I'm not dismissing that, but like those rad beams. Whew, think of it's gonna be 4 rad beam, 4 blast breath. It's just
Well, think of it like this: if the new Luffy goes Kid, the new 7
Like
drop
Santa
kid,
Cost,
and
yeah,
then follows that up with a Whitebeard. He's at 9,000 attack, like pretty much all this,
Why
like
would
the
you
whole
play
turn.
Whitebeard when you just play another kid? Like,
Well, that too, yeah.
yeah.
But like he's gonna he's gonna luck sack the one of,
That
you know.
that card's a problem. Is that card being made into like a championship promo too?
No,
Or is
it's
it
just
the
coming.
5 cost?
Which one? The kid?
They're making the championship promos. There's like a 10 cost Luffy. Like it's like the for regional treasure cup. One of
No, I think it's just coming out in the structure deck. The plus 1,000
yeah.
kid.
No, but they're making a
I know
promo
what you're
version
saying.
of that.
Oh yeah.
I think they are.
You know how they made
for all of the
Borsalino,
captains.
Sakazu,
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
is it the 7 cost one or is it the
I
5
believe so.
cost?
I think it's a 7. Yeah.
Yeah.
That's freaking juice, dude.
Yeah.
That's some money.
It's gonna be so expensive.
I know this podcast has gone a little back and forth. We're gonna go back and forth to that.
Yeah,
Right
absolutely.
now, these promotional cards, I do want to say this game has such a high incentive to be like top 10%. Okay. I'm not even saying being the number one. It has such a high incentive being top 10% of the game. I guess if you have a big tournament, top 5% of the game, right?
Yeah.
Or even going to locals and just winning a couple promos, right?
Yeah.
That coaching is very so much worth it, right? Yeah, I think Team Seafood King, I've heard they've charging like $100 an hour.
Damn,
so
dude.
That's
So
definitely
expensive.
like worth it. I had coaching early on from actually John Ashby, Beats by Ash official on Doflamingo, on a lot of his insight. I think it was $50 at the time. But like it's kind of crazy where like we're doing this Patreon thing with Will to Win. People do it for let's say a month or a couple months, $35 a month, which is honestly just too low. But
Might have to adjust that.
I was gonna
Yeah,
say that's what my pricing is
appar-
probably gonna be too, similar to that.
I think if higher. Okay, it depends on what you're doing. He has a Patreon scale, right? So it's different, and we've talked about that. But the main thing is that low of an investment for how much time you're putting into the game to get better. Because think about how much time you play this game, like 20 plus hours a week, right? Or even like let's say most casual players, they go to their locals 2-3 times a week. That's like 12 hours. Right?
Yeah.
And how much you would get back out of that financially from that coaching is just it's tenfold, right? You'll that's just so much better. So you can then go like top 32 or top 16, and all of a sudden,
Absolutely.
you have your nationals invite. You have a top 64 Borsalino you just sold for $350.
Yeah.
So that's the one thing where people get incentivized to get coaching, right? Behind like personal growth and all things like that, there's a financial incentive to do better.
Yeah,
And
absolutely.
I think that's absolutely necessary in a lot of these things. So that's why coaching right now is actually higher than it's ever been.
Yeah.
And
Wow.
it's really easy to get free bad advice. I want to say that it's really easy to get free bad advice. Just go on a couple Discords. You can get some really good free bad but you can get some good advice from people if you're willing to pay for their time.
And what's funny is what's different about One Piece than a lot of other games. I'm not sure how Magic does it because Magic's like the one game I never played, right? But so like Yu-Gi-Oh, if you top an event, right, like top 32 or whatever, like you usually don't really get shit. You get like a deck box and that's it, But like now you're getting like with One Piece, we get winners packs, we get serial Luffy's are going for like $5,000. You get the finalist mat, like with the Luffy and Sabo, the three brothers. So you get that. You get like your nationals invite. You get like all of these different things that I think like is really valuable in the game. And that's what I do love about One Piece. And I tell my friends all the time, like after I win a tournament, I'm like, dude, like I'm so happy that we actually get awarded something other than just like packs, because packs could sometimes be literally nothing. But at the very least, a winner's card is a collector's piece, like as many times I pulled that fucking who's who, it's still a winner's who's who.
Let's go, dude.
Bro, I cannot. Bro, if you look at my trade binder right now, I have like 10 who's who's, bro. It's so annoying, bro. But at least I'm like, okay, like I can look at that and be like, damn, I've won a lot of tournaments,
Yeah. Yep.
So like, at least I like that.
My first Winter Dawn.
No, dude,
Dude, I pulled that Winter Dawn. I didn't know they made Winter Dawn. Right, and I was like, "What the hell? They should make a Loser Dawn." And
is this what it feels like at the top?
Yeah, to segue this into, I have Loser Dawn. Have you guys seen Loser Dawn before?
I actually,
I will
one of my
ship you some Loser
friends,
Dawn. I will ship you some Loser Dawn.
one of my friends has Loser Dawn. Did you come up with that?
I did.
I love that.
I want to say this is probably an original idea that I had in my head. Did someone else have that idea at the same time? Probably. right? But this is what happened. I pulled that Winter Dawn. And I'm like, what if they made? I thought of this before. What if they made Loser Dawn, right? What if that'd be so fucking funny? And so I told this guy at my locals who can make cards. He made some crappy thing, and then we edited it, and then it took him weeks, right? It gave me like some crappy version. I posted on Facebook that got like 200 likes and stuff.
That's
and
funny.
then you started seeing a couple like cheap Loser Dawn. It was like actually on the Dawn cards you see now, like the white ones, and they like printed Loser on them, and they put them for like really cheap. But we wanted them to be like the black ones, and they went
stand
to like
out
something.
too.
Yeah, they wanted to be the black ones that stand out, that say Loser. You couldn't actually tell if it's a fake Dawn right off the bat.
Yeah.
Right.
Wow.
So
I think I'm giving you the credit for that. I think that like someone showed me that the other day, and I was like, that is so fucking funny. Like Loser Dawn. Like I don't want one personally, but like I think it's hilarious.
And by the way, if you guys see me in Pasadena, if anyone sees me in Pasadena, I'm going to Pasadena in like 2 weeks. You see me in Pasadena, come say hi to me. I will give you a Loser Dawn. Okay? Don't worry about it.
Nice.
Given. And the thing is, giving a Loser Dawn, no matter what, if you won or lose, people usually like laugh and they think that's like the best thing ever. They almost put that in, like, can I play this? Can I play 10 Loser Dawn for my in my local tournament? And everyone's like, yeah, Timmy.
Yeah,
you can
go ahead.
Sure,
Go
no
ahead,
problem.
So with that, the financial incentive in this game is pretty big, right? But like those Winter Dawns, and also you were saying like even if you get top 64, at the very worst you have a shiny Borsalino or something, right?
Yeah.
At the very worst case.
This game has such like at least at the time of us recording this, right? Like it has such a healthy market where like you can get very affordable top tier decks for like under $200.
Yeah.
And that's, I mean, coming from, I do come from Magic the Gathering background where it's like, okay, I'm paying like $50 Jace the Mind Sculptor's a card, you know, where it's like that one card is $200 for the full play set in my deck, you know, and then I've got a full set of, I remember this dates me a little bit, I guess, but back in like 2009 or 2010, I had a white blue control deck that deck must have cost $1,200. You know what I mean? And it's like, but you look at One Piece, oh man, you know, whatever rare you need is probably going to be under $30. I think there's a few exceptions like Katakuri maybe, and not talking about alt arts, not talking about the alt art stuff and all the chase secrets.
I think Cat's like the only one that's actually worth like over like 25.
I mean that's a secret rare too.
And that's a secret rare.
And I do like that too, because like it incentivizes like people, like it doesn't incentivize, but like people that are coming from other card games are actually like, they're like, yeah, dude, I was paying like for Yu-Gi-Oh, for example, the same thing with Magic, you're paying $40 to $100 per copy of a card, you know, with 3 as your max. So people are coming into One Piece and they're like, yeah, I'll literally buy a blinged out deck for Katakuri and spend the same amount as I would spend with like all my other decks in every other card game, which I think is cool.
And the thing is, the shiny in this game is I mean, there's better shiny cards in other games, but they're cool and people like to play them. That's the problem. And some people will buy them even if they, you know, can't afford them.
Yeah.
Right. And trust me, I'm like, why are you making this financial decision? Why would you buy this alt Borsalino? Are you sure you want to buy? Like, trust me, I some guy did that.
But when rent's coming up, bro, we gotta. Hey, man, you want it or not? You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, you've never listened to my podcast. So this will be the second time I've ever told this story. Okay, so I want to say about store credit real quick too. Okay, I know it's a small thing, but because it has to just do with money and everything. So this guy traded in his car to this card shop. For store credit. For $10,000.
No fucking way.
That store was like, fuck yeah, bro. We got that. We had store credit for a car.
What the fuck?
Yeah.
Wow.
And here's the crazier part of the story. That's not even the craziest part.
He blew it on boxes.
He said it in September. He was out of it by February. So yeah. So he blew it on box. He's a collector. Right, so we blew on like tons of boxes, Magic the Gathering, One Piece. He got a case of One Piece, you know. So yeah, that's basically
that might have been the dumbest fucking thing I've ever heard in my life.
That's the same guy who makes the Loser Dawn, by the way. So that guy's the OG, bro. I buy the Loser Dawn didn't give to people, but he also does that. So if you want to support that awesome lifestyle he's living, buying these alts and trading in cars for store credit.
Wow.
Because I was bragging to him about like, oh my god, I have like $300 store credit because I keep on winning at this locals. And he's like, I have $10,000 store credit. Like, oh fuck, sorry, shit. Your story just destroyed mine.
So on the contrary, actually, and James, I don't know if we have any more topics after this, but the Small Hat Crew, I was talking to them last podcast, and they said that one of the guys that's won like multiple cereal Luffy's bought a car with the money that he sold the cereal. Like he has like 3 or 4, and that's like 20 grand right there.
They're like $5K a piece, right?
Yeah, I mean you could sell them probably like 4,500, but yeah, I mean, dude, that's I mean that would pay off my car right now. Shit, I mean, dude, you know how much richer I would be? Like, I mean, I'm poor as hell right now, but
that's the crazy thing about sometimes this game. If you think about those last games too, where if you won a game, that's the difference of like $5,000. So we're basically playing over $5,000, which makes it like so much less casual than it should be. But at the time, it's just you're just playing a game with the guy, and I'm not like mad at that guy. I'm more mad at myself because I fucking threw a game, and I could have had the win. I basically was counting on a counter in my life, but I didn't need to, right? And I lost, and I didn't make top 8, and I am still so mad about it. I've cried, I've lost sleep over it. I'm like, okay, I'll survive. I'll get another one. Don't worry about it. But it's hard.
It's really hard. Because like
it's a competitive game. Fuck me, right? So.
No, absolutely. And I was gonna say that happened to me in back in set 1 when I was playing Kid. I was playing against one of the guys who topped forward at a Miami Treasure Cup. At the Miami Treasure Cup, he was playing Law. Caban is his name. Really cool guy. And I was playing Kid in this case tournament, and I fucked up so hard, bro. I had the game like locked, bro, and I fucked up in top 4, and it was the difference between. I got 1 box from it, right? It was an all fucking day event, and if I would have won, I would have gotten 4 boxes, right? And if I would have won the finals, I would have gotten like 7 boxes. So like one fuck, dude, I literally couldn't even. The 1 box I looked at, I gave away as a giveaway because I couldn't even look at it, bro. I was like, every time I see it, I get pissed.
Rage.
I don't even want to look at that fucking box.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I don't look at One Cost Doflamingo the same way either. So that's what it was in my life. Like, fuck. So I'm over it now. But like, obviously, you're gonna be like in the dumps for like a minute.
Sometimes when you're laying in bed at night, you just think about it. Do you guys have any closing statements you wanna talk about before we end this one? This one's been a little bit longer than the other one, but I'm totally for it. Like,
I don't think my podcasts go for like 1.5 to 3 hours. So it's
yeah,
nice.
It's late right now, so I don't want to like hold you guys up. So like, if you guys, because I don't know, James is a teacher, so like I'm sure he has.
I'll be up in 6 hours. Yeah, unfortunately.
Yeah. So
okay.
Shout
you guys go ahead, and then actually I can go first. Yeah. So.
Yeah.
Shout out to my YouTube, Kekfilet. If you just put in Kekfilet in YouTube, and also Will to Win Gaming. I'll put that I'll give them the things you guys see in the description. I'll be in the comments as well. First to comment, right? And then with that, just want to see you guys. And if you go to Pasadena, come say hi to me. I'll probably be wearing some sort of Hawaiian shirt, maybe a pink Doflamingo shirt. We'll see how that goes. So I appreciate you both for having me on here.
Cool.
Been a blast talking to you.
James?
Oh, absolutely. Thanks for coming on. Yeah. And so come check out my YouTube if y'all get a chance at the VV Theory. I think it's just at VVULFRIK at VV Ulfric, like we were joking about earlier. And yeah, that's about it for me.
Yeah, so both of them will obviously be in the description below if you guys just want to click on the link to just check out their channel. Big fans of honestly both their channels. Even Keck, I was in the middle of that coaching, like when I was coaching my friend on his Kinemon game. I was like, I saw Keck join our Discord, and I was like, oh shit, like Keck joined, because I watch his videos all the time, so I thought it was really cool. And so a big fan of obviously both them of their channels. And then also, if you guys do, I am going to end up doing the coaching after all. So if you guys want to check out the membership options, it's not a it's not a Patreon thing. It's going to be on YouTube, because I also give like extra videos every month, like just extra like locals games and things like that on top of like selective live streams. So that'll be a part of the option if you guys want to check that out. And then big shout out to our sponsor, Daily Grind TCG. So.
Yep. Use the promo code ChickW for coaching.
Yeah. So thank you guys for coming on the podcast. Obviously, James is the co-host, so he's always on there. But Keck, I appreciate you brought a lot of energy over here, and take it easy, bro.